channel, subscribe, press that subscribe button. I'm glad you guys are here today, and I just want to talk about. There's a lot of things going on in boxing right now. You got Tank Davis having a fight with Lamont Roach, which I don't really think too highly of that fight because Lamont Roach is not even ranked and he's never fought anybody. I never heard of him until Tank Davis mentioned him. David Morrell is supposed to fight with David Benavidez, but there's nothing concrete. They worked something out, but it seems more likely that I think he's gonna fight David Morrell. But what I'm saying is that, they were talking about him fighting the winner of bertebiev and Bivol, which I don't think that's gonna happen. I think maybe later down the road. We don't really know exactly what's gonna take place, but they were talking about it's a done deal with David Morrell. And it would, Benavidez' team was talking about putting. It was a rumor that they were going to be on the undercard of the Lamont Tank Davis fight, but that was discarded. And it seems more likely that he's going to fight David Morrell between January or February. That's the narrative that I've been doing my research on, and that would be a good fight. He's 11-0 with 9 KOs. David Morrell. He's a good fighter. He hasn't fought any elite fighters, but I feel like he has raw talent, and I think it'll be a really good matchup between him and David Benavidez, considering the circumstances that David Benavidez is not able to get a fight with Canelo because Canelo's running away from him because he's scared of him. He's scared to lose to him. I don't think he's scared of him, but he's scared to lose to him, obviously. And it's all about money, and he just wants to make the most money he can possibly make without losing. Because if he fights David Benavidez, Canelo's gonna lose, guaranteed. He's gonna lose by KO. I say he don't last 6 rounds with Benavidez, Canelo. But he knows what he's doing. Canelo's he's using his name, whatever's left of his name. He's using his marketability to get the most easiest fights possible and to stay on the winning streak for the most part. Keep the belts until everything is like slows down even more for him. But right now, he's just everything is a business. But as far as the fights that are taking place with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, I don't really think too highly of that fight. I think Tank Davis is he's fighting fighters that are not ranked and not on an elite level on purpose because he has the name to sell the fights, but he's not. He's doing a disservice for the fans. He's doing a big disservice to the boxing fans, the real purist boxing fans that want to see major fights that are elite status, higher level. What's going on, my brother? Brew Gas Boxing, Jazz, and more. Salute to you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thanks for everybody tuning in on the channel. Subscribe. Press the subscribe button. The fight that I'm excited about is the Subriel Matias fight. I feel like he's going to prove a lot of people wrong because boxing is a business, and he alluded to it in his recent interview about how big boxing promoters use Puerto Rican fighters that are on a lower scale promotion to help their boxers move up in the rankings and to get their fighters to progress further in their careers, because that's what it is. Boxing is a business, and he said it. He said it in the interview. I'm going to show you the video later. Right now, I'm not going to show you the video because I want to just say one thing about the Subriel Matias fight versus Roberto Ramirez. He's going to fight Roberto Ramirez, who is he's a 26 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, and 19 KOs. He's lost to William Cepeda, and that's if Subriel Matias could KO Roberto Ramirez, that's a good look. I'm not saying it's a great accomplishment, but it is a good look because it's like a barometer to compare him to like a William Cepeda, because everybody's talking so highly about William Cepeda. He's a Mexican fighter. He's good, but he's slow. He's slow. He's not gonna beat Shakur Stevenson. Just get that out of your mind. If you think that he has a chance against Shakur Stevenson, you're crazy. You're insane. You're insane in the membrane. If you think that William Cepeda, just because he has power and he's undefeated, that he's going to knock out Shakur Stevenson and give him problems, you are delusional. You're very delusional because he has I don't say he has one punch KO. He has determination power, like I mentioned in my previous video. He's a talented boxer. He has grit. He has determination, but he's too slow. Like he's too slow to actually give Shakur Stevenson any trouble. I think Shakur Stevenson's gonna have a field day with him. He's gonna play with him. But don't get me wrong. He's a good fighter. Maybe they're using the fact that they're using Shakur Stevenson as just to promote William Cepeda. But it seems like that might happen. That fight might happen. But I think Roberto Ramirez is a fighter that has power. I don't know a lot about him, but I know he lost to William Cepeda by I think by KO. And if he fights Subriel Matias, Subriel Matias it looks good in this fight, and he knocks him out. It just shows that he's still in title contention. But I think that the fight that fight is a good fight. It's going to be in Puerto Rico in the Ruben Rodriguez Coliseum in Bayamon, and it's gonna be on pay-per-view, and it's some pay-per-view promotion that Urengo is saying that it's gonna give a lot of viewership to Puerto Rican boxing, and the boxers on the undercard is gonna give more viewership for more fan base. He's a businessman. He knows what he's doing. Urengo is the leader and the head coach. He's actually the head of the company Fresh Production Boxing, he is the one that got all the elimination fight contention for Subriel Matias for his fight. So it wasn't any other promoter. They do promotion in conjunction. Like Fresh Promotion does promotion with Eddie Hearns and Matchroom, and they work something out. But Matchroom, Eddie Hearns, I feel like he's really a sneaky, shady person. He signed Subriel Matias to a multi-fight deal, and he didn't sign him to an exclusive fight deal. So he purposely signed Subriel Matias with the intention of Subriel Matias agreeing, I'm paraphrasing, to lose to him, to Liam Pardo, because that was a business deal that they had to make. If Subriel Matias was going to fight Liam Pardo, he had to agree with Eddie Hearns and Matchrooms to lose to Liam Pardo and not try to win, because he wasn't signed to an exclusive boxing deal with Matchrooms, Subriel Matias. He wasn't. But, Liam Pardo was signed to an exclusive deal. So it's boxing politics, if you look at it. And if you want to prove me wrong or say that I'm looking for excuses, I can prove to you that Subriel Matias knows that he wasn't allowed to win in that fight. He had to not try hard enough, and you could tell, because every time he landed a whole bunch of combinations on Liam Pardo, he hurt him. But then he stopped deliberately, because I don't know. I just feel like he sold out, because Eddie Hearns in a contract told him that, if you're not in an exclusive deal with me, you have to let Liam Pardo win the fight, because you're not signed to an exclusive deal with me. So he proves it by saying that Puerto Rican boxers are used by big promotional companies, from whether it be United States companies or England, like Eddie Hearns. They are used. Puerto Rican boxers are used to help big corporation boxing companies move their boxers up and progress and have their boxers that are under their promotional banner progress and move up by using a Puerto Rican boxer as a scapegoat to move up for their careers. And I will show you the video. Te voy a enseñar el video que Subriel Matías declaró y dijo que los boxeadores puertorriqueños están utilizados por promotores grandes de más grandes empresas, para los boxeadores de las grandes empresas subir un escalón utilizando y explotando un boxeador boricua. Así las promotoras grandes utilizan a los boxeadores de promotores pequeños que son boricuas, lo utilizan y lo explotan las corporaciones, empresas grandes de boxeo, para que los boxeadores que están abajo de las empresas grandes de promoción y boxeo subir un escalón. Ellos utilizan a los boricuas para subir un escalón. Son otras palabras que Subriel Matías Matchroom tenía que utilizar a Subriel como un boxeador que le puede ayudar al boxeador que está bajo de la promotora de Matchrooms, como Liam Paro, para subir un escalón. Y eso fue lo que sucedió. Utilizaron a Subriel Matías, un boxeador boricua, para que Liam Paro pueda subir un escalón más. Y eso fue lo que Matchroom hizo con Subriel Matías. Firmó a Subriel Matías para par de pelea, pero no un contrato exclusivo. Ellos firmaron a Subriel Matías un contrato que no era exclusivo, pero a Liam Paro lo firmaron un contrato exclusivo. So, esa es la prueba. Te voy a demostrar. I'm going to show you the proof that Subriel Matias was used by Matchroom Boxing to elevate Liam Paro's career. And that's what they do with Puerto Rican boxers. They use Puerto Rican boxers that are not as established. They're in a smaller company in boxing in Puerto Rico. They use Puerto Rican boxers to help the boxers of the big promotion that's more famous to move up. That's what they do. He said it right here.
¿Sabe? Eso no lo hubiera hecho otro promotor afuera. Ellos te firman para ellos prácticamente sacarte como que tú eres puertorriqueño, vamos a usarte de escalón. ¿Sabes? Ellos te tiran por el matadero, por decirlo así. Sin embargo, yo tengo el mejor equipo, créeme, y lo vamos a demostrar.
So he basically said that that's what all the big promotions like Top Rank, Matchroom, all those promotions, those big companies, they use Puerto Rican boxers to help their boxers move up the ladder in their careers. They don't respect Puerto Rican boxers that are from a smaller company in the island. They use them to get their fighters to progress. The big promotions like Top Rank and Matchroom Boxing, they're a bunch of exploiters and users, and they don't respect the boxers that come out of Puerto Rico that have a smaller promotion, but they're successful, like Subriel Matias was with Fresh Production Boxing. They use boxers that are Puerto Rican, and he's basically saying that he couldn't win that fight, even if he wanted to, because Matchroom Boxing was not going to allow Subriel Matias to win the fight, because he wasn't signed to the exclusive deal. Liam Paro was. So, en otras palabras, él está diciendo ahí que los promotores grandes como Top Rank, Matchroom Boxing, utilizan a los boxeadores boricuas que son de una promoción más pequeña para engrandecer los boxeadores de sus empresas como Top Rank, Matchroom, Golden Boy Promotion. Eso es lo que ellos hacen, pero eso no es justo. Pero la cosa es que si tú vas a hacer eso y tú eres promotor como Yurango, tú tienes que asegurar que no te hagan eso a los boxeadores boricuas. Pero that's the way it is. If you come from a boxing promotion it's a lower scale from Puerto Rico, like Fresh Production, they're growing. That's the best company in Puerto Rico. If you come from a smaller scale boxing promotion, the big promotions like Top Rank, Matchroom will use and exploit the Puerto Rican boxer that's big in the smaller scale and make their fighters move up the ladder by exploiting Puerto Rican boxers from the island that don't have a bigger scale promotion like Top Rank, Matchroom, or Golden Boy Promotion. That's wrong. That is totally wrong. But that's what he's saying. So he's basically saying that he had to sell out and not win the fight because the bigger promotion boxers, they're not going to allow him to win. He's not going to say that. He's not going to explain that. He's not going to admit that. But he proved it right there by saying that no matter that when you are fighting for a lower scale boxing promoter and you're Puerto Rican from the island and you're a boxer from the island on a lower scale promotion, but a big promotion in Puerto Rico, the big promotions like Top Rank, Matchroom is going to use and exploit the boxers that are in Puerto Rico to help their fighters move up the ladder in the bigger promotions. That makes sense. That's just the way the U.S. and other big corporations that like England, London, they have their big empires when it comes to like boxing. So he basically admitted that he had to sell out. Yeah, Eddie lies, man. He's a hustler. He's a promoter. He does whatever gonna work for his fighter to succeed. Eso es lo que él hace. Eddie Hearn, lo que él hace, utiliza a los boxeadores que son de una promoción de Puerto Rico que sea más bajo que la promoción de Matchroom para engrandecer los boxeadores de él, para que los boxeadores que están en contrato exclusivo con Matchroom. Y es lo mismo con Top Rank y Golden Boy. Ellos hacen lo mismo. Utilizan a los boxeadores boricuas para subir un escalón. Los boxeadores que no son de la isla. Los boxeadores que están firmados exclusivamente con Golden Boy, con Matchroom, con Top Rank. Ellos utilizan boxeadores de Puerto Rico, de la isla, para que ellos luzcan contra los boxeadores de ellos, pero no para que ellos ganen. Ellos nunca permiten que un boxeador de otra promoción menor que la de las grandes empresas como Top Rank ganar la pelea. Ellos aseguran que los jueces le dan la pelea al boxeador de ellos si va por decisión, o ellos aseguran que en el contrato ellos tienen que decir que no van a tratar de ganar porque no están exclusivamente firmados con las empresas grandes. So, ellos utilizan a los boxeadores boricuas como un escalón, para subir un escalón. So basically, that's what they do. The big promotions use the smaller promotions, like from Puerto Rico, like the Puerto Rican boxers coming up from the island that are good. And if they go and do a joint deal with Matchroom or Top Rank or Golden Boy, Matchroom, Golden Boy, and Top Rank are going to make sure that the Puerto Rican boxers only used to help their fighters under the contract of Matchroom Box and Golden Boy and Top Rank to win and make their fighters look good and make their fighters go up the ladder in their careers by exploiting a Puerto Rican boxer that's in an inferior promotion or a lower scale promotion. That's what they do. But enough about that. But I want to talk about. Okay, I'm excited about that fight. It's going to be on pay-per-view. Tainos versus Aztecas. Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Subriel Matias versus Roberto Ramirez. Let's see how that goes. I think Subriel Matias is going to win. I feel like he's still ranked number 5. He's ranked number 5 in the IBF, and he's ranked number 6 in the Ring magazine. So he's still, all he needs is like 2 fights, and he could be in title contention again. Or even after this fight. It all depends. But what I feel, I want to talk about the Bivol bertebiev fight. I saw that fight, and I want to give my reaction. I haven't been constantly on YouTube the way I usually am, because I've been caught up with so many things. Promoting my music, my album. It's going to be available on all major platforms. Tony also, The Essence of Who I Am. And I got an EP with Red Moon Music. It's called Mi Patria, My Land. It's talking about the situation in Puerto Rico, etc. What's going on with the colonialism of the United States, illegal invasion of Puerto Rico, and the political situation with the politicians working in cahoots with Congress and the United States government. But I don't want to talk about that right now. You can check that out on Spotify and TikTok. I talk about all my revolutionary points and my music, etc. You can check it out on YouTube too, my music, and on Spotify. But yeah, I've been busy doing that, working on my album. I've been in the studio, working relentlessly. I sing and I rap, so my material is very versatile. So yeah, so subscribe to the channel. But I think bertebiev and versus Bivol, I saw the fight, and the fight, I feel like if you watch the fight and you watch it good and you focus on everything that took place in that fight, bertebiev started coming on at the end of the fight, like probably the 7th round and on. He was sporadically coming on and winning a few rounds here and there, but I just feel like he waited too long, or he just couldn't deal with Bivol's boxing ability. And Bivol landed the cleaner, harder shots. He may not have the same kind of power that bertebiev has, but Bivol was really landing the cleaner shots, and he was fighting his fight, his style. He was the ring generalship that he displayed against bertebiev. Bivol was on point. He basically, I think he he won the fight. He may have won the fight by 3 rounds or 4 rounds. If looking at the fight the way I saw it, and a lot of people agree, because it's like Paulie Malignaggi was saying that 80% believe that Bivol won and 20% believe that bertebiev won. And I know Eddie Hearns was upset about the decision. Eddie Hearns, he's just getting a little piece of his own medicine because he exploited Subriel Matias, and he made sure that Liam Pato won the fight because Liam Pato was the fighter signed to his promotional contract exclusively, and Subriel Matias wasn't. So that was the politics there. So I feel like he's just getting back the same thing that he does to people is going right back to him, to Eddie Hearns, Matchroom. So I don't have respect for what he does. Like I respect him as he's a hustler, but I don't respect his ideals and his way of doing things. He's very sneaky and corrupt and very blatant. He dropped Subriel Matias. But Subriel Matias is saying that they still could work. They could have open negotiations between Fresh Production Boxing from Puerto Rico and Eddie Hearns. They still can have deals together and work things out. It's all about, it's all about trust when it comes to Subriel Matias, and he trusts Fresh Boxing Promotion. But after Matchroom dropping him, he's basically saying, we just wanted to use you to make Liam Pato more famous and bring him up the ladder a little bit more because he beat the Boogeyman. But you could tell that fight was fixed. Subriel Matias didn't throw as many punches as he usually does. And what he said in the interview right there that I just showed you, that big boxing promotions only use Puerto Rican boxers to help their fighters move up the ladder. That's what they do. And he's just basically telling you, without telling you, that they weren't going to let him win the fight because he was a Puerto Rican boxer from a lower scale promotion, Fresh Boxing Promotion, which is the best boxing promotion in Puerto Rico right now, and they're doing pretty good. So I feel like Bivol, he was good with the jab, throwing the combinations. Towards the end of the boxing fight, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, he slowed down. Bivol, he didn't show the same intensity as he did previously, but I think that a lot of the early rounds, he won the early rounds. Bivol, it's like bertebiev. He didn't really go for the kill the way he should have in the beginning. He did it at the end, but he should have did what he did at the end in the beginning, and he would have had a lot better chance to win the fight. But I feel like Bivol was robbed. Did I like the fight? I didn't find it too entertaining. I felt like I wasted 45 minutes of my life watching it. I just felt like there was nobody was really hurt in the fight, and it was just anticlimactic. And I like fights that have like changes in climate. Like sometimes the guy got stunned. The guy moved away and then he threw a lot more combinations. If Bivol would have threw more combinations, the judges would have probably gave him the fight. But I think he still did enough to win. Like, yes, he didn't throw as many combinations after the 7th and the rounds beyond that. Towards the end, Bivol didn't throw as many combinations as he did early from round 1 to 6. But I feel like bertebiev didn't show me that he was dominant, that he wanted it as much, or not that he didn't want it. I think he did want it, but I just feel like his level of trying to attack Bivol was only intensified after the 7th round. But he should have fought like that early in the fight, and then it would have just showed me that he deserved to win if he would have fought throughout the same way. But I feel like Bivol was too much for him as far as the boxing ability. He did have powers. He didn't have one punch power. bertebiev does not have one punch power, and I feel like he has determination power. But he's older now. He's getting older, and I feel like he's from Russia, right? And the other guy's from Ukraine. Bivol. I'm not gonna say that played a role. I just feel like Bob Arum, being the promoter of bertebiev, probably played a role in that because he has the money, the capital. He has more money than the other guy's promoter. Like Bivol, I don't know. Does he have more money? I don't know. Maybe he had a hand in there, like with the judges. Maybe he had some connections because it's all about connections in boxing. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I feel like the Russian guy probably won because the promoter that he has, the influence that he has, is more than Bivol's promoter, like Eddie Hearns. Yeah, I think he does have more influence. I think top rank Bob Arum has more influence in the boxing world than Eddie Hearns. Eddie Hearns has influence, but I, I don't think he has more influence than Bob Arum. Bob Arum has been in the game longer than him, and I feel like Bob Arum ascertained that his boxer, the Russian one, bertebiev, wins. It's possible. It's quite possible. Boxing is so corrupt. I have a love and hate with boxing. Love and hate with boxing. But at the end of the day, there is some shady stuff, sinister stuff going on behind the scenes in boxing. And whoever thinks that there isn't any sinister stuff going on behind the scenes in boxing really needs some psychological evaluation. Because nothing in boxing, when it involves money or anything in business, even basketball, is going to be totally integrity and honesty. There's corruption because there's money involved. It's always like that. It happened with Subriel. It happened with Chavez when he fought Pernell Whitaker. It happens all the time. You know, I feel like Bivol won the fight. It wasn't the greatest fight in the world. They were making it out to be the greatest fight. And, oh, this is a big event. It was a big event because there was a lot of money put in the event by the Takashi Ali. You know, like the people that are involved now in boxing. They actually make the big fights happen. Bigger fights happen, but the lower echelon, like the prospects that are coming up, they don't benefit from that. But it helps big name boxers get fights that they want with other big fighters. So it's good and bad, But I feel that Bivol won the fight, and the same way that Bivol and bertebiev fought for 12 rounds, if Shakur Stevenson did the same thing, they would say, "Oh, Shakur Stevenson is boring." There's a double standard because he's Puerto Rican or African American, like he's half Puerto Rican and African American. But I feel like since the color of his skin, they discriminate boxers that are African American when they dominate a fighter, like the way Bivol did to some extent with bertebiev. They call that they will call that they call that when bertebiev and Bivol fought. They said, "Oh, that fight was so good. It was so entertaining. They showed a lot of boxing skills on both sides." But if Shakur Stevenson displays the same thing, hold up. If Shakur Stevenson displays the same thing, they're gonna say that he's boring because there's a double standard when it comes to like the race of the fighter. Unfortunately, that happens in boxing. There is racism and discrimination, but they don't like to focus on it like that. They do it with like undertones. They say certain things, but I feel like when it comes to representation, they want the boy next door type look, and they always look at it more like I don't want to get into that, but at the same time, I feel like Shakur Stevenson, if he was to fight the same way that bertebiev or Bivol fought, they would criticize him. They would say he's boring. When he's not boring, it's just he needs to step up like in his arsenal a little bit more. Like with De Los Santos, he didn't do that, but he hurt his hand. But I think that he's gonna come. He's gonna be very successful. He's gonna be a big threat in the division because I feel like it's not all about power. And I think that'll be a good fight with Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. But Shakur Stevenson, he can be exciting, but he don't have one punch KO. But he can be more bold and more aggressive. Not saying to get careless, but he could be a little bit more bold and more aggressive. I still think that boxing skills pays the bills, but Tank Davis does have skills and power, so I feel like it'll work out. But I don't know. That's the fight that I don't know who will win, but I feel like Shakur Stevenson is doing the best that he can to fight the best competition available. But Tank Davis hasn't done that. He hasn't. But that's my time for now. Check out all the fights. I think David, check out my videos, all my content. Subscribe, press the subscribe button, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. Tony also knows boxing. I feel that the boxing fights that are coming, they're good. They're good boxing fights for us to watch. David Morrell and David Benavidez, I feel like they're gonna fight in the beginning of January or in the middle of February. That's what I read. That's the case, and they might get the winner of bertebiev Bivol, which bertebiev won, but I think Bivol was robbed. And that's all I got for now. But check out my channel, Tony Also Knows Boxing. Check out my music, Tony Also, on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube. Subscribe, press the like button, follow my revolutionary stuff on TikTok, which if you want to follow that. And I also sing acapellas. I also sing cover songs on TikTok. You can check that out as well. One love. Tony Also Knows Boxing. You know how we do.